Thank you.
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Didn't hold on, go live. Let's see if it's not gonna let us edit. Hold on, it's gonna let us do this thing.
And we are live.
So you gotta mute out the
somebody says, listen.
Hold on. Somebody's got to mute out their computer, guys.
Two ways to do it. If somebody's pushing it, I'd be happy to answer that. Can I ask you two questions so I can formulate my answer, so I can answer you? And
that was actually
Peggy
Jeff
was
Smith.
The culprit.
Peggy, was that you? You were watching Jeff Smith? That's fair enough. I respect that. What is going on, everybody? Let's make sure. Are we officially live? Can we get some comments in the live itself from somebody that sees that we're live? Yeah, we're live on the YouTube. I'm excited about that. Who do we have here? Is everybody up here on the thing? I think we got everybody. So that being said, what is going on? We were just talking. So for those of you guys who are here, we are just coming over from the closers competition that's taking place inside of Sub 2. Let's say if you guys got any comments in here, let me know if you guys were over there watching. How many of you guys who are here in the comments were over there watching the closers competition that's taking place inside of Sub 2? Yeah? Okay, cool. So that being said, guys, let's chat about this a little bit. So we were just talking about, so Dennis, to your previous question, yes, pizza. So Yvonne and I were in New York a couple years ago, right? And we ended up doing a pizza tour. I recorded the whole thing, but this is how bad I am at social media, right? Full transparency. I'm working on the social media thing, right? I'm working on it. I'm trying to get there. But we did this whole thing. We went to maybe 12 pizza spots in the city in one day. We just went through the whole entire thing. We filmed it. We documented the whole thing. And I shared absolutely nothing. Which one of you guys don't know how to do this? It's not Peggy because Peggy's muted.
You know what the problem is, Daniel? Like, didn't go to any pizza places in Jersey. Like, I mean,
did we go to Jersey?
You skipped all the good ones. That's the problem.
Are all the good ones in Jersey? Now that sounds like a very New Jersey.
Bro, let's not. Look
at Samir's face. Samir is very unhappy.
We all know that.
Come on, let them know, bro. I mean,
there's good pizza.
We all know the best pizzas in New York.
Nah,
Jersey, I'm gonna go second.
Jersey's the best, bro.
Yeah, they got dirty water in Jersey. I told you that.
I got the lots cooking pizza in the back.
Well, here's the thing, Dennis, and I don't mean to discredit your recommendation because I'm sure your palate is lovely, right? The issue is I've never heard anybody say, yo, let's go get a slice of Jersey pizza, right? Like I've never heard that be a thing that people say out loud, right? I've heard people say New York pizza or Chicago pizza. I've never heard Jersey pizza. So maybe you need to educate the world on what they're missing.
Because Jersey's the armpit of America. They're not going to say, I want the Jersey pizza. Everybody's going to like associate it with like armpits and stuff. But I mean, the truth is when you live here,
this isn't helping your argument. You know that,
right? That's why you all got to come here. Come to one of my networking events.
Come to the armpit.
You guys some pizza. Well, how about this? Next time I'm going to do a big event. Everybody come. I'm going to order pizza all over Jersey and you guys can all try it. How about that?
Okay, so I'm all the way down for that. Yvonne and I are actually supposed to be going to New York July-ish for a party for her mom. So I got to be up there. I got to connect up with the New York people. Got to figure that out because I don't want Yvonne to physically assault me for making it a work thing, right? But we'll figure this out, and then we can do another pizza tour, right? Like we did last time, and then you can show us what we were missing.
No,
let's do it.
Let me know. Let me know when
I got one request on
New York at the end of July.
Might be the same time, bro. For real.
Bro.
Dennis, I got one request on that. Just please don't make it during the winter. Anything but winter.
I do. I know Jersey winter suck. No, I do meetups every single month, and I'm actually going to do. We're probably going to step it up to 3 meetups per month. But when you come out in July, Daniel, let me know because I'll plan it out. We're going to do like a massive one. We're going to rent out like a big spot in the park, have food trucks, the whole 9 come out. It's going to be like
awesome,
big, it's going to be like 200-300, maybe 400 people. We're going to go big.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, there's so much to do out there. That's one thing you get. Like, this is why people live up in that part of the world, because you have so much access to everything. And we couldn't go everywhere. We couldn't do everything. In fairness, one of my favorite pizzas was actually from Long Island, where Yvonne's sisters live. So it's pretty good. They came with it, so it's how to be the competition. And we could document the whole thing. We could do like the Barstool thing, but real estate edition, where we just go out there and we debate on why your palate is trash. If everybody's like, no, this is really good, and you think it's not good, right? We can have a whole thing. I think it would be fun.
I'll have to bring Detroit style pizza. You guys didn't even talk about that style.
Detroit style. At least I've heard of
Detroit style. Yeah, I'll bring it.
I've heard of that.
Probably
I've actually heard of that. That's the Little Caesars, right?
Yeah.
Little Caesars.
Yeah. Hot and ready. 5 minutes.
Hot and ready.
DiGiorno.
It's not delivery. It's not delivery. What? Oh, it's thick pizza. So Detroit style is thick.
Yeah.
So we got Detroit style. Okay, so we're gonna figure this out. All right. So everybody
Bro,
knows.
there are people plugged in for the first time. Like, what am I watching?
Yeah, exactly. What are we talking about pizza for? Stay tuned for the pizza competition. It's coming up sometime this summer. But that being said, all right, everybody, let's talk for a minute. Let's take a minute and let's talk about what we just experienced and what's going on. So let me give a quick update for anybody who's not in sub 2, right? Because we've been repeating this and it's been going on for the last couple of days of this week. We've been talking about this a lot, but there's a lot of you guys who are watching this who aren't in sub 2. There's probably some of you don't even know what a sub 2 is. So we're going to talk about this a little bit. And a lot of these people that you guys are seeing on the screen, all of these people are involved with this in one way or another. So this is just an opportunity for us to really just kind of talk about this and get everybody's perspectives. So what's going on? What are we doing? What is this competition? So for those of you who are watching, who are not inside of these communities, we're all in real estate. Every single person on the screen here is a real estate investor. Our business, our livelihood, and our jobs require us to be able to go out here and be successful at acquiring real estate off market. Well, part of that process goes into learning how to talk to sellers and learning how to get access or contact with the sellers that may have a property that meets your buying criteria. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of different approaches and a lot of different strategies you can use. But one important skill set in being successful in this business is the ability to have a good conversation with the seller. Why? Well, because a lot of these sellers are getting contacted by a lot of random strangers. You got to learn how to set yourself apart. But another reason is because if you're doing this the right way, and let me highlight this for everybody who might be listening, if you're doing this the right way, the purpose of your call isn't just to find out what's best for you, but you're actually there to find out what's best for the seller as well. You're there to solve problems. You're there to find solutions to their circumstances, so that way you don't walk away from the situation winning alone. You both walk away from the circumstance with a win-win. That's how you know you're doing a good job in this business. At least that's how I define it. And I believe that's how everybody in here defines it as well, right? So that being said, what does this have to do with what we're talking about? So there's a couple of people that are in this industry that are amazing high-level leaders in the real estate industry, right? You guys might know some of them. Their names are Pace Morby, Jamil Damji, Brent Daniels, among many, many others. These guys are people who have fix and flip TV shows. They've been leaders in this industry for a very long time. They've been operating at a high level and doing their best to tell people how to become successful in this business, right? That's what they do. So they have a show called Wholesale Hotline. Every Monday night, you can go and watch that show. That's what they're doing. So Wholesale Hotline, they were talking the other night, Jamil Damji has a challenge that's coming up. It's an Astro challenge for his community. And Pace said, you know what? I'd love to have my community involved. So very long story short, what we decided to do is bring back something I've been doing for a little bit over a year now. And it's competitions inside of this community where we compete. We role play conversations to see who can score the highest and do the best job at having a conversation under a certain time limit. It's an exciting thing. It challenges you in ways that you would not even imagine. And so we brought those back. But what we're doing is the top 4 people, along with myself, are going to be not only going to the finals of the Inside of Sub 2 Closers Challenge, but they're also going to be representing Sub 2 in the Astro Challenge that Jamil Damji is going to be putting out here in the beginning of next month. There's a lot that's going on. It's going to be really fun. But in order to win and be successful in this circumstance, what do you have to do? The first thing you have to do is act like the Brady Bunch on a Zoom and point to the person next to you. Who am I pointing to right now? Brandon? In my head, and where I'm at, I'm pointing to Brandon. Is this what it's looking to? Okay.
Yeah.
Right? That's how it's good. So let's do this. Since we're paused anybody, everybody point to your favorite closer on the Zoom.
Ooh.
I pointed at myself. I love it. So here's what we're doing, guys. At the end of the day, what we're doing here is we are bringing this challenge to everybody else. The reality is this challenge that Jamil's putting on is just a way to teach people how to become successful at having conversations. And Pace wants to show that the value and the capacity that his community brings to the conversation. And so we put this competition together. The top 4 people in this challenge, along with myself, are going to be representing Sub 2 and Jamil's challenge. But we got to get there, right? There's over 125 people who've signed up to try out for this challenge. So we got to go through all of these people. They got to win the tryouts, and then they're going to win to a bracketed 32-person competition. And out of those 32, only 4 will make it to the finals. So out of 125 people, only 4 are going to make it to the top and represent Sub 2 in this challenge. And then of those 4, only one's going to win inside of the community and win one of the titles of best closers in the Sub 2 family. It's a lot. It's fun. It's challenging. But why are we talking about this here? Well, the name of this podcast is Skorch the Fears. And I don't know about you guys, but putting yourself up against another 125 people, put your name, your skills, your reputation on display for hundreds of people to see, that's a little bit nerve-wracking, right? And people will sign up for these challenges, and some of them will be nervous, some will quit, some will cry, and some will never even sign up. And the purpose of tonight's podcast is to discuss exactly this. I love that, Chris. So everybody is Chris, you said that you've been in Sub 2 and you've already gotten twice the value out of it. That's amazing. And that's the thing that we talk about, right? For people that are in the industry, a lot of times Pace talks about these messages that he gets from people. Oh, why should I join your membership or mentorship? And he's like, don't, right? The reality is anybody who's in this community already knows it's not a game. It's a whole other thing that's taking place here because we really move like this. We really actually care about each other. We really want to help each other win. It's not competition. It's collaboration. And so I love that that's been your experience to this point, Chris, and I hope that your experience moving forward just 10x's where you've been at to this point. So that being said, that's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about the fears that are associated with signing up with something like this, and how to walk through those processes. So we have a bunch of people who are here on the screen tonight who are going to talk about that with us. If there's some people who are here who have been a part of this competition, if you want to comment in the chat and you want to jump in here and give your opinion as well, all of you all are welcome. So just let me know, comment in the chat that you'd like to jump into the conversation. If you're competing and you're on that sign-up sheet, you're welcome to come and join us here. But that being said, let's talk a little bit about this experience, what it means for people, what made you sign up, what are your expectations, how do you think you're going to do, all of these different things. And let's start, since it's still ladies' time. Let's go. Let's start with Peggy Page. Peggy, the ladies have been killing the game so far. Killing the game. Ladies got first dibs at tryouts. We haven't even made it into the competition, and I'm seeing scores like I've never seen before. Talk to us.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of our ladies in Sub 2. They're all showing up and getting out there, and they're such an inspiration. So I love it. I love seeing that turnout.
I love it. That was very, very detailed and thorough, Peggy. Yeah, it's good. Ladies are doing good. Thanks for having me. Appreciate that. Let's talk a little bit about your experience, right? Because if I understand correctly, you have already gone. True or false?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit. Let's talk about your background a little bit, right? How long you been in the real estate game? How long have you been in the real estate investing game? What are you doing while you're here in this game? And what made you sign up for this competition? While you're doing that, I'm going to go. Actually, hold on one second. Let's just before you answer that question, let me just do this. Hold on. We're gonna do something here. Figure we make this make sense like this. All right. Turn this way. What's going on, everybody? Live here because we are going to be we are live on the Skorch the Fears podcast. We have 9 or 10 of the people who are competing in this competition that we are doing inside of Sub 2. They're here co-hosting and chatting with me on the Skorch the Fears podcast, talking about their experience, talking about the things that they're struggling with and how they think they're going to do. You do not want to miss this podcast. I'm going to put the link here in the description. The link is also in my bio. If you are not doing anything right now, you need to hop over to this link and watch what we are discussing. We're talking about this competition and how the people who are in this competition plan on making waves in the real estate industry and doing amazing things inside of this game. Look, everybody's live. We got multiple people going live. Why aren't you here? What are you doing?
Look at this. Look at this. Yeah.
Live's on live, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what's up, yeah. We're live. Daniel caught me, right? I hope I'm muted. I don't think I'm muted.
You're not muted. We're listening. Go at it. Just do it. Just do it.
Totally not muted. But
do it.
We're
Keep
here
going.
on Skorch the Earth podcast right now. Look at the family. Look at this. This is how we show up. On a Thursday night, this is how we show up. You see those peace signs? So, check it out. Go to Skorch the Earth right now. I'm going to drop the link right here for you. Come join us live. Yeah, I definitely thought I was muted, y'all.
No, it's all good. That was actually perfect. That fits the whole vibe of what we're doing here. I'm surprised Daryl is still wearing pants, if we're being completely honest.
How do you know who he is?
You don't know
How
that.
do you know who he is?
We don't know who he is. Fair point, Becky.
He's got the undercarriage cam just for his OnlyFans. He's got the undercarriage cam. So while he does seller calls, he can watch it. As his OnlyFan, I've seen it. It's great.
OnlyFans. OnlyFan.com.
But Daniel, I'm going to have to jump out of here in like 2 minutes, bro.
Well, then, Marlon, you go first. We'll get to Peggy. Talk to us a little bit about your whole thoughts on all this. Say what you want to say, bro.
Real quick. First off, shout out to everybody hanging out here with us on Thursday night. So, what's really cool about what we're doing right now with the competition is that you're getting people coming out of their shell. You're getting a lot of ladies getting up, showing how this business is done, how they have this powerful weapon of a skill set, and they're inspiring everybody, men, women, everybody alike. They are literally inspiring others. And what I absolutely love about this is there's a pressure that a lot of them are stepping into. They're actually showing up on the stage and they're going through this with 100, 200, 300 eyeballs watching them, right? Like that is nerve-wracking, and they're being brave enough to put themselves out there to be judged, right? So I love it. Like the level ups have been insane. The feedback has been insane. The way these women have been actually taking the feedback and just processing it, and you're watching how they're improving, right? They're not taking it and breaking down. They're taking it and rebuilding, which is just phenomenal. So shout out to everybody that's a part of this competition right now. Shout out to all the people that are participating by being in the audience, but really, really big shout out to the people that are just putting themselves out there, because that in and of itself is a major, major victory. Being able to open up your mouth, right? Being able to lead by example, being able to get yourself from being a fly on the wall to actually getting on the court. Like seriously, kudos and props to every lady that we got so far. Like you said, Daniel, the scores have been insane. I didn't even realize there were so many killers inside of Sub 2 like that, let alone them being ladies. I just didn't even realize we had that many like just high level individuals just sleeping. They're sleepers. Bro, this competition's waking up the sleepers right now. Like it's putting them on the spotlight. So I'm having a great time.
Sleeping giant. So last thing before you go, man, because mindset is your whole thing, right? And you're amazing at it. You have a lot of experience in this world. Lastly, why should someone, whether it's this competition or any other competition, why should someone do something as crazy as putting their name on the list to publicly test their skills against people who have been doing this for years, especially if they're brand new? Why should someone take that challenge?
Man, I can't emphasize like what comes to you when you actually put yourself out there. So my grandmother, check this out, Daniel, right? This is the wisdom of the old people, right? My grandma, shout out to her. She used to say to me, if you don't tell people you're hungry, how are they going to know to feed you? Right? We all want to get better. We all want to improve, but we can't do it hiding in the corner. I used to do that when I was younger. I used to try and get better by myself in the dark, in the shadows, thinking like, hey, then I'll finally be good enough to go spend time with those people. What would have actually happened had I just put myself out there, they would have accepted me. They would have said, yo, let me teach you. It would have elevated me faster. They would have condensed time frames, right? So from a mindset standpoint, right, you want to put yourself out there because the way we're designed, humans by nature, we don't grow in comfort, right? By nature, we are meant to grow through struggle. We grow through stress, through resistance, through being in uncomfortable situations. So being in a community where you can be put into a friendly, uncomfortable situation, where you can be put under stress by people that are going to dunk you under the water, but they're not going to let you drown. They'll pull you back up when the time is right. I don't know where else you're going to get that. That is priceless. So if you're thinking about it, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I can never, today is the day to sign up. I don't even think they can sign up anymore. Yesterday was the day to sign up.
Yesterday was the day. You know what? But after that speech, I may open it up. If somebody said in the comments that they really, really wanted to join, I might add a name to a list just off that. Because you're right. Iron sharpens iron, but not without friction, not without that resistance. You got to have the pushback. And if you try to run from that, all you're doing is running from your own growth. I could not have said that better myself. Marlon, bro, you showing up today was amazing having you, man. This thing's going to be going on for the next couple of weeks. We try to put people on the map. We try to put see you later, Christy. Have a good one. We're trying to put the sub 2 community on the map in a much, much bigger way than it already is, if that were even possible. Bro, you are welcome whenever you want, man. Appreciate having you at all times.
Yo, appreciate it. I'll see y'all later.
Boom.
Sub 2, baby.
Sub 2. Mindset Marlon. Let's go. I love it. This family runs deep. In case you guys could not tell, let's go back over to you, Peggy, and let's chat about this a little bit, right? You're a lady, so let's go back to the question. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, how you got where you are, what you're doing in the business, and then we're going to get to what made you sign up for this crazy thing we're doing right now.
Yeah, so through suggestion, I became a real estate agent January 2020, and then of course COVID. So I'd actually started listening to podcasts, and what really got me excited about real estate was the investing from the beginning. But it was almost like I had to wait. I felt like I was waiting for something, and I didn't quite know what it was. And along came Pace on a podcast, and I was like, who is this dude? Like, he is so smart. And I love that he had like all of these solutions.
Pretty cute too, from what I hear.
Yeah, I think Laura thinks so too.
I think so. Rumor has it.
Yeah. So I was really curious, but of course I didn't jump because for me at first it was a fear of the, not having the money and just not being sure if I was making the right step. And then just one day I was like, I don't know what it was. It was like a switch inside me. And I was like, I've got to do it. And it's been phenomenal ever since. So I've only been in investing since February 15th. So a little over 3 months. And I love it. Like, I just love everything about it. I'm so hungry. I just want to learn more and more, but it's easy to get sidetracked. So I'm trying to keep my focus on certain things. And ironically, I was like, I want to be a killer closer. Like, that's what I want to do. That's so much fun. I think I want to do that. Build my skills. And then you pulled me out on my first nightly dial. Thank you so much.
Prove it.
I was so scared. And I mean, my gut was turning. I thought I was going to barf. But I made it through it. And ever since then, it's like I've had this thinking like, you know what, I'm scared, but I've got to do it. So I make myself do it. I'm scared every single time. It doesn't go away. But even I've noticed the improvement over time because I am putting myself out there, because I am practicing, and because I am failing, and I'm learning from it, and I'm growing faster and faster because of that. So it's super important to do that.
I actually love that. And it goes back to exactly what Marlon just said, right? Like it's about pushing yourself. It's about challenging yourself. And the reality is we're always going to have reasons and excuses to not do that. But is the reason to greater than the reason not to? And usually the answer is yes, if we're willing to admit it. So you came onto the nightly dial, right? Somebody will remain nameless, called you out. But what you signed up for this week is different than going and making a call just on the nightly dial. So talk about that for a minute. What pushed you to make that extra step?
You know, I honestly, you know, I didn't set any expectations. You know, I was just like, I'm just going to go in and, you know, I do how I do, you know, however well it is or crappy it is. I figured I would learn a lot from it, and especially getting to hear the other closers and how their calls go, that I would grow and learn from that. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely scarier than regular nightly dial for sure, because you have the timer and, you know, you're trying to rack up the points and you've got, you know, all these hot shots in there watching you do it. But yeah, I just was like, I'm just going to be me, just going to do this call and whatever. Like I didn't set any expectations. I thought if I come in dead last, oh well.
So here, okay, that's fair. So when you went and signed up, that was your mindset. Walk us through like the day of. So yesterday was the first day. Ladies are going, right? You were among the first people to actually even go into this competition. Were you freaked out before you went? Were you like, screw it, like, I'm here, may as well just do it? Like, what's going through your mind at that moment when you're getting called up, the timer's about to be on? Did you practice it all? Like, what was going through your mind?
Yeah, so no, actually I was scared because I hadn't practiced, because I didn't even know what I was getting into when I stepped into it. So it kind of made it worse. But honestly, through the night, it was like an emotional roller coaster. Like one minute I'd be like, this isn't so bad, you know, but of course I wasn't up next. And then I'd be like, oh, what am I doing? Why did I sign up? I should back out. And then when I had to be the last person, I was like, no, not the last person. I don't know why I just have that, like, I don't know, like I'm afraid it's either going to be a good impression or a bad impression. You know, it's the last impression of the night though. So that made me a little sweatier than normal. But I just did it. You know, I wasn't following a script. You know, that's probably one of my superpowers, is I'm just able to talk to people. And just, I don't know.
Okay. So you went in there, you didn't know what to expect. You were nervous. You were all of these different things. And then you went and scored a 75.5. How did you feel after you got that score? Were you like, hell yeah, this is what I was going to do. Mess with me. Call your mama when you doubt me next time. Or was it like, oh my God, did I just get a 75? Like, where were you in the emotional spectrum when you realized that you scored really high? And for people who don't know, scores out of 90. I've been doing these for a while, over a year, and I've very rarely seen people get into the 80s, right? So out of the gate in tryouts, people are in the 40s and 50s. That's the average number. I've seen people in 30s. Peggy comes out with a 75.5. So what was going through your mind when that happened?
I mean, yeah, I was shocked. I think I was paying attention more to, you know, what I did wrong and what I did right and stuff like that. Just kind of taking mental notes, trying to be present in the moment. But I mean, I was super happy because I was like, wow, that score was better than I thought I would do. So, I mean, literally, I wasn't expecting to place at all or anything. Like, I'm like, whatever. And then when I saw it, I was like, yay. But then, of course, you know, afterwards, you just kind of go, did I do that bad in that spot? And wait, did I do that good in that spot? And you just start analyzing the whole entire thing. So, yeah.
So does that make you more confident or more nervous about your performance going forward?
More confident.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. That's amazing, right? And I say that because, you know, we don't know what's going to happen. So out of the 125 people, guys, that have signed up for this thing, only 32 advance to the actual competition itself. And then from there, only 4 make it to the finals, right? So there's obviously a lot of competition here, but I don't know that I see that many people beating a 75. I could be wrong. Right? Here's what's funny, and this is what we keep joking about inside. Everybody knows that the ladies have the ability to kill it in this game, right? Everybody knows that. Nobody doubts that the ladies can do amazing things in this business. But unfortunately, there's just not a lot of spotlight on ladies for whatever reason. But then you have ladies inside of Sub 2 who are like, nah, I'm going to change that. I'm going to get the notoriety out there. I'm going to get the attention on the ladies. We're going to make them known and put them on a map. And so we opened up and gave the first day, which is turned into the first couple of days, that it's just ladies get to try out first. Every competition I've done, a lady has made it to the finals. And on one of the competitions, a woman won it. And that's with 1 woman competing, 2 women competing. Well, now we got like 25. The likelihood mathematically of women winning this thing is drastically higher than it's ever been. And with these scores, I'm being completely honest. I knew the ladies were killers. I'm nervous for the fellas. I really, really am nervous for the fellas. I think some of the fellas, they won't admit it. I think they're a little bit nervous too. Dennis will admit it because he's a real man. But yeah, I'm really, really interested to see that. It's going to be fun to see how everything plays out. So kudos to you, Peggy, for being one of the many amazing ladies who stepped up. I'm really interested in seeing it. And I asked you about moving forward because I think there was a very, very large chance that you're going to be one of the people that makes it to the competition and hopefully to the finals. It'll be fun to see.
I mean, I won't lie if I'm more excited about the 33rd place.
That's not the energy. That's not the energy.
Oh no, it's not. Okay, no, I mean, I'm going for one. Yeah.
And number one. It's okay. You were close. You carried a 32. But that being said, thank you so much, Peggy. Don't go nowhere. Let's transition over and talk to some of the fellas, right? So all of the fellas, because we've been letting the ladies go first, none of the guys have actually gone yet for the tryouts, right? Here's what's interesting. Every single one of the other gentlemen who are on this screen are leaders in the nightly dial, right? With the exception of Samir, all of them are closers for the nightly dial. So let's give you guys some context for those of you who aren't in Sub 2. Every single day for 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, we stand up there and the leaders in Sub 2 come together and we call sellers live. Who pays for that? Pace does, because he's Pace. And that's what Pace does. Stuff like that. He's spending like $10,000 a month. He's hired 4 VAs. He's buying a bunch of leads and he's putting us and he's having those VAs call leads. Why? So that way people in Sub 2 who are nervous, who have never had the opportunity to talk to a real seller on the phone live can do exactly that. And so that's what the nightly dial is about. People jump in there for 4 hours a day. They're calling sellers. But if they're nervous and they're new, who do they turn to when things get sticky and they don't know what to say next? They turn to these guys right here, right? The closers that are up here on the screen. Samir is a guy, he's on my team. He's an amazing dude. He's a really sharp dude. He helps facilitate the background. But what a lot of people don't know is your boy's a little smooth on the phones, right? He doesn't just look like Drake. He spits like Drake, some might say. And by some, I mean him. He's the only one that said that. And he asked me to say that. So I've said it. I'm never going to say it again. But anyways, now that that's out there, Samir, you're welcome. Yeah, it was well worth it, right? Yeah, Daryl, stop it, bro. Nobody believes you. So here's what's interesting, right? So these guys that are on this screen with me, they're literally spending hours every week helping direct and close deals for other students inside of this community, right? But when this challenge came up, I didn't know what they were going to do. I said, guys, this is going to happen on y'all's nights where you're helping to co-host and lead the nightly dial. Who's in? And I think pretty much everybody said, duh, I'm in. What are you talking about? I'm going to say I'm a closer. I'm going to show I'm a closer, right? And so that's what I love about this, because a real closer is hungry. You're hunters. You don't sit around waiting. You go get it. And that's what I love about the fact that every single one of these dudes have raised their hand, and many, many more people. So I want to talk to you guys for a minute because you haven't had the chance to go. I really want to hear your perspective and thoughts on these things. Daryl, I'm going to start with you because you have actually publicly competed multiple times in various ways. You've gone with RJ Bates and competed against the people on his show. Wow. It's like that. It was the
That
did
is
you
facts.
Venmo or was it like a Cash App? Yeah, everybody look at Oscar's thing. I'm not really sure what went behind that comment, but
I agree with that.
yeah, Samir's the top 5 closer. I
100%.
understand that. 100%, 1 through 5.
That's how I'll put it.
No, it's smart. It's smart. It's an investment. So Daryl, you've done this before, right? So here's a couple questions I have for you, right? Actually, I'm gonna get to the other question. Actually, let's say it like this. So you've been in other competitions.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts? How do you compare what you've done on the RJ Bates things and these different types of things to what we're doing here? What's this? How do you compare these things? What are your thoughts?
I mean, obviously, the main difference is on the competition that I did. I was calling live sellers. Now this is role play competition, which is a bit different. The role play actually should be harder, in my opinion, than actual calls.
Yeah.
So these are role play competitions in the backyard. They're very similar though, because where I made the mistake the first time was reading the chat. Like they were talking about that earlier. I was reading the comments the first time I was live, and I got super nervous, right? So I had to like pull up another tab and just not look at it. But that's like the main thing. I got super nervous for that. But once you do it over and over, it just becomes natural. So
I love it. Okay. So you've done this before, right? I've seen you on some. I've seen you grow and advance over short periods of time, right? You've come an amazing long way. You're just at the beginning, so I can't even wait to see where you go from here. With that being said, what's on your mind? How are you feeling about this situation, right? Look at Munif. What's going on, Munif? What's going on, bro? So is this it's a lineup? We're adding people to it. Anybody who wants to hop in here, if you are here and you are involved in this closers competition at all, you're welcome to let me know, and I'll hit you with a link, and you can come up here and chat with us. So yeah, the situation's changed a little bit, right? Because everybody who said yes, we hadn't announced it yet. You guys were among the first to hear it, right? It was before we did the Q&A. It was before all of that. So everybody's like, yeah. Now we got these scores coming up, right? So I know everybody's closers. We'll see if anybody wants to just keep it real here. But what are your thoughts, man? Has this changed your perspective at all, or made you kind of recalibrate your approach?
I mean, definitely making me have to go a little harder, because the girls, the women, they came out strong. There's a lot of high scores up there right now, and I'm excited. That makes me go harder. It's gonna be fun.
I love it. Are you nervous? Like, do you think you will boxed out? Or you going from top? Like, okay.
I don't get nervous anymore, bro. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun though.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so Bilal, let's switch over to you, man. No. So Munif, literally, Peggy's the only one that's competed. We have so many ladies that signed up. Munif, you missed it, bro. Out of 90, we have 2 ladies today that got into the 80.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Scored an 81 with Cassandra. It's insane.
They're
Crazy.
killing it. They're killing
Yep.
it.
So Bilal, did you sign up to compete?
I think I did ask Brandon to sign up. I couldn't do it on my phone, but I think Brandon put in my name, right, Brandon?
I got you on the list. Yeah, you're in there.
Okay, I'm on the list.
Yeah, I signed you up, bro.
Yeah.
So Bilal, let's chat a little bit. You're smooth, right? I've heard you have some conversations, right? Your tactic and your approach and your strength may be in different areas than kind of the sniper closer type thing. But you definitely know how to navigate a conversation from your perspective, right? He's definitely one of the smartest dudes without even a question, Munif. But from your perspective, what are you feeling going into this, right? And what are you confident in, and what are you nervous about?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, right? I'm a different closer, I guess, when it comes down to it. My personality is very logical and analytical. And so what this is doing is it's forcing me to change my strategy. Like I think I need to build more on my credibility. I need to build more on my rapport. And so that's what it's forcing me to do. And it's pushing me out of my comfort zone as well. And I remember the first time, I looked at the closers competition, it was last year. And that's really what pushed me into getting into the daily dial and getting myself out of the comfort zone and, forcing myself to be out there. And so that's kind of where I'm at, man. I mean, that's what I'm nervous about. Even though I'm a closer, I'm on the phone with sellers all the time. I am nervous because I have to change up my strategy and I have to force myself to change and try to get those points, compete against Peggy. Peggy's on our team, but I'm a little nervous. She got a 75, Cassandra got an 81, but we're putting in the work. We're role playing with the team, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm up for the challenge.
So you bring up a really, really good point that I think is worth mentioning, right? Y'all's team runs deep, right? In so much that there may or may not have been some sort of a scoring scandal that began this season, right?
You're never gonna let that go.
Literally never, right? Like Tom Brady is not going to compete with this scandal. Right? You guys can go back and watch the tapes and judge for yourself, right? But we had two teams competing today, right? And it just so happened that a member of Brandon and Bilal's team, Cassandra, went. And then a member of my team, Agnes, went next. And Brandon or Bilal, no, someone, because I'm not going to name any names, right? Scoring, yeah, Munif. Here's what happened, Munif, and we can review the tape, right? So a person from the other team who would not be named again was the last person to score. Right? Scoring's going all the way through. We get to the very, very, very final number, right? I'm not saying anybody cheated. I'm just going to say what happened, right? So
it sure sounds like it, Daniel. The way you're putting it.
Nah, nobody cheated to you.
We get to the very final number, right? Final number, right? And the judge in question, who can see the active scoreboard, right? Their team member had 81 points. Agnes has 77 points, right? That's where we're at. The scoring's out of 5. If they got a 5, they win. If they get a 4, they tie. So we get to the final thing, and this judge says, on this one, you did a really, really good job. I really like the way you did this. So I'm going to give you, my spreadsheet messed up. Hold on. I'm going to give you a 4. And then it ended up being a tie.
No, for real, though, I have my notes open and I was reading through my notes and trying to see what I can, what kind of feedback I can
give. Everybody agrees. Everybody knows that's what really happened, right? No, I'm messing with you guys. It was fun, but no, all jokes aside, it was amazing, right? Because here's what's funny about this, right? Like Cassandra was more of a like, I'm just gonna do it, right? And then she did it. She came out and killed it. And then anybody who knows Agnes is like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. I'm going to shit my pants. And right, like she goes live and tells everybody because that's Agnes. And then Agnes literally comes. I agree, Munif. Thank you very much for bringing that up. Somebody fell out. I don't know who was it. We lost Daryl. Daryl, we need to put together a GoFundMe for Daryl's internet, guys. So if everybody wants to support him so we can stay on board here.
He said it in the chat, so he had to bounce.
Oh, did he really? Did someone definitely Steve Tranged it, Munif? I'll let you listen to the tapes, bro. I don't want to make any accusations. I'm not the type of guy to spread a rumor, right? But rumor has it. But no, here's what's funny, man. Like all jokes aside, Agnes went right after Cassandra. Super nervous, right? Terrified, telling everybody. And then, like, honestly, give me y'all's opinion, guys. And let's see. She's hosting a lady Zoom right now, so I'm not sure if she's going to be able to make it. She's going to try. But give me y'all's opinions. How many of you guys were like, whoa? Like, I know what Agnes brings to the table. But even I was like, oh, my God. Like, where did this come from? Like, she really, really came with it, with the energy. Like, how many of you guys, and somebody feel free to jump in, were actually surprised at how hard she came out of the gate?
Yeah, I mean, I was her stellar, and like every little tidbit, she picked it right up, and then she just went with it. She's awesome. Like it actually surprised me, because I remember, man, Daniel, like what like 4 months ago when she first got on, and how she was, and she was like super fearful. Like we had to force her hand to get up there, and then now like she just hopped up. She built rapport like instantly, boom. And then kept bringing back the same little comments. She was mirroring. Tonality was there. Everything was there. She was doing so good. It was solid. It was really good.
Yeah, it's rough when you're watching, right? And you're nervous for someone. And I was nervous because, Agnes is on the team, right? And I want her to do well. And then, of course, there's the bragging rights. We joke around and stuff like that because you want everybody in your team to win, right? Like Brandon and Bilal are over here gassing up their team. But at the end of the day, they're competing against their own team, right? And so, like, my whole team is competing against each other. And so, it's definitely like there's that mixed emotion. Everybody just wants it to win. Like Brandon said it best earlier. I was like, yo, what happens if you're going against Peggy, right? Or you're going against Cassandra? And he's like, then the team wins. Right? That's a smooth answer, but it's also the right answer, right? Because that's really the energy here. So, even though, Agnes is her own person, I felt that sense of pride and I was like, how is she going to handle this? And every time there was an opportunity where she could have went one direction and maybe it didn't go that well, she was just right on it with the rapport, right on it with the right conversations. So it was really, really good to see and excited to see. So I guess talking about the teams a little bit, let's go into that a little bit more. Brandon, let's go over to you, man. You guys obviously have a good sized team, right? And your team is wait, hold on. Is Brandon on call? Yeah, no, he's on a call. We'll pause. We'll come back.
I'm
to
here.
you,
I'm here. I'm here. No.
Okay.
I don't want to mess up the live.
What's that?
No, I'll see you in the morning.
Yo, Daniel, but I gotta hop off though. I appreciate you having me on.
No, Bilal, do your thing, man. I appreciate you, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys continue to rock this thing and your team continue to do the same thing.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Later.
Later, Bilal.
See you, bro. See you, Daniel.
So, so as from this perspective, right? You have an amazing team that you've been able to amass in the midst of all of these different things, and then your team is here. So let's talk a little bit about one. How did you get this team? Where did this team come from? What goes into the people that you decide to bring on your team? And then we'll talk about how you feel about what they're doing in this competition.
Yeah, I don't know. The newest version of this team, it slowly came about from the nightly dial, just finding people on a nightly dial. And then before that, I was building a lead manager team since last year, but it was much smaller. And I don't remember where I found. One was from Monif actually put me on to somebody. His name is Joswell. That's the guy that I told you about. Daniel, I was trying to get him into the competition. He's a killer. He's part of right, Peggy? He's a killer. He's part of Elijah Rubin's community, and then he reached out to Monif. Monif put me on to him, and that was sometime last year. And a few other people in sub 2 I just met through just messaging them. They said they were interested in joining the team and making calls. And then yeah, it just slowly started to build. It was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then when we started reaching out to people on 90 dial, it just skyrocketed. It just started growing. And then the second part of the question is, how do we feel about it? How do I feel about the team being in it?
Yeah, so going into that, let's talk a little bit about that. Like, how do you feel? Like, what was the energy? How did that conversation go? Was it a situation where they all just kind of raised their hand? Was it a like, hey guys, let's all do this? Like, how did that come about where so many people on your team ended up jumping in into this challenge?
How did so many people join the team?
No, like join the challenge. Like
join the challenge. We were on the role play the other day, and then when you announced this, I'm like, yo, everybody has to join. I'm like, everybody has to join. Everyone has to join this. Let's do it. And then it's a back and forth. So people are like, oh, I'm not ready. I can't this and that. But Peggy could attest. We're like, let's just do it. Let's get really uncomfortable. Danny, you know me. I'm a very confident person. So I'm like, yo, our team should be top 4. Like we should have everybody in here should be top 4. And I truly believe it. So yeah, and then that's where we're at now. So yeah, when you say Cassandra's a killer, Peggy's a killer. You never know what could happen, but I'm genuinely excited. If they pass me or not, it is what it is.
Yeah, well, here's what I love about this, right? So I love that energy, right? Because that's the energy of a true leader, right? But for me, the way I look at this is, you guys are not just like, when I think about, you and Brandon, or excuse me, you and Bilal, you guys come across as top tier, people operating in this business, in my opinion, right? I just think you guys are top tier. You guys, we discussed this in Vegas at length, right? I have nothing but the utmost respect for the moves that you guys are making. And, we discussed like who we believe is going where, and you guys are on the top of that chain, in my opinion, right?
Thank you.
And there's no question about that. But more importantly, I believe you guys are top tier humans, right? Human beings, people. And I think that matters a lot. And I think that's reflected in the type of people that you guys attract, in the Peggies of the world and the Cassandras, who are awesome people as well, from everything I've been able to meet. And for me, that's important, because if you want to build something that's going to last, you need to build something that's special, right? And special is relative. It's going to be different for every organization and every team. But I think what's important is that when you have an environment, and it starts at the top and then it flows all the way down, you have an environment where everybody feels empowered and equipped to win, and they have a safe space to be vulnerable. Win or lose, that's the winning recipe, period, right? And so there's no question in my mind, there's going to be a lot of people competing and trying and fighting, but like all of that aside, man, there's zero question in my mind that your team has more than the capacity to be among those top 4, and it's not even a question.
Appreciate that. Really, really appreciate that. Cassandra.
What up?
There she is, rocking a sub 2 hat. Cassandra, what is going on? How was the ladies' meeting?
It was amazing. There's a great group of women in there. I'm really excited to be a part of that group.
That's awesome. Yeah, you guys are killing it over there. So I guess coming from that meeting, right? You guys were in the Nightly Dial doing the competition. You competed tonight. And then you went over to a ladies' meeting that's being led by Agnes and a bunch of other amazing ladies over there. You guys are talking about what you're doing over there, and then you're coming back over here. Talk to us about just this whole energy, this whole thing that's going on, right? And this wave of ladies stepping up, ladies, taking action, ladies showing that you guys have the capacity to dominate and are doing amazing things. You're running these groups, and then you're coming over to places like this and telling the world, what's that feeling like? What's that experience like? And from your perspective, what's the plan? What is it that you guys want everybody who's paying attention or not paying attention to know?
Oh man, what a great question. And there's so much to say about that, but to try to be concise, it all just comes down to finding your community. I mean, honestly, like finding this community and pushing myself out of my comfort zone to start networking with you all has really changed things for me like 1,000% within the last 2 months. I got to become a part of Brandon and Bilal's team and meet everybody there, and get the opportunity to start using my skills. So in the women's group, it's really all about that empowerment and kind of pushing each other to get out of that comfort zone and say, hey, we're here to catch you when you fall. Like, we're here to help you fail through that, and just don't worry about messing it up, because the only way to do it is to do it. So it's really cool to see these people coming out of their shells. You know what I mean? And we're all given like hands up to, as Victoria, she said, our kings in the group, because we can't be queens without our kings. Obviously we love everybody. It's definitely not just about the gender thing, but it's just amazing. I think that the people who have felt that they still weren't ready to step into the spotlight are becoming more empowered because they're watching us do it. I'm not sure if I lost my.
Hear you, Daniel.
Oh, I'm over here talking to myself. Sorry. So you just said a lot of different things. Thanks, guys. So coming from that perspective, obviously you don't come from this really lengthy business, or real estate background, but you're here now. So being a part of this world, talk a little bit about what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? And then the second part of that question is, what role do you think the relationships that you've been able to develop inside of Sub 2, what role is that going to play in the goals that you have?
Straight up calling me out right now. One of my all right, so my biggest to-do list when I got home from Clever Summit in Vegas, I don't know if everybody watching knows, but it was an investor summit, 3 days, amazing speakers, got to network with so many of you guys, was to actually write down my damn goals. I have this book on my bedside that I'm like 50 pages in that says you can do anything you want if you knew what that was. Goal setting is hard. I just got to say that. So I'm working on that. So thank you for calling me out on that, Daniel, because I kind of put that on the back burner. I've just been taking action and not really focusing there.
I don't even know why.
What's that?
I hear just doing stuff, not even knowing why.
Well, like I know, like I want to build passive income and wealth. How exactly to achieve that, I still haven't really narrowed that down yet. And I've just been kind of figuring out my superpowers. So as I continue to meet people and insert myself into their business and help them grow, help them succeed, I think I'll figure that out more. I know that certain methodology gives me more energy, so I'm just kind of doing the guess and check process with that right now.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I entirely answered your question.
You did. So then my question to you is this, Darren, what's up, Papito? With you obviously you've connected and you've collaborated with a team that's doing a lot. Talk to a person who's not inside of a community, right? And if you want to share a little bit about your background, you can. If not, you definitely don't have to. But what impact has joining a community like this done, and at the very least giving you something to do before you get the direction and positioning you to win now that you're on some sort of a path?
Right. So that part too is it's a dating process. I actually joined a few other groups. I was doing cold calling with them. The systems weren't really in place, so I was trying to find a tribe. And thank God, like Peggy pulled me out of the nightly dial and was like, "You need to come join this group because we're kicking some ass." And I was like, "Okay, that sounds great." And these guys have been nothing short of awesome. So I have tried all right, I don't like the groups that I'm with. They're not really like moving in the direction that I want to move in. And when I say I don't like, the people are amazing, but I just didn't see the vision. You know what I mean? I didn't see the vision. I couldn't see how I could help them move forward. So I just continued to search for, something that was going to move me forward and allow me to help other people move forward. So I try to put teams together myself, and holy smokes, that is an endeavor. And instead of like recreating that wheel, it just made perfect sense for me to join somebody else's business where they're already doing it. And, these are amazing people and they're teaching me how to do it. So in the event that one day I want to create my own team, I want to move that forward, I can do that. I'm not sure if that's the path for me, but I know that I could do that in a year, maybe 2 years, whatever. If I really grinded on it, I quit my job, I could do all that. But exponentially, it's going to be faster now that I'm a part of this group and a part of amazing people who are sharing this knowledge and trying to help me win.
I love that. Well, look, you even have, the people on your team who are willing to, nudge the numbers for you a little bit. So, they got your back. I hope you don't take none of my trash talking in this regard personally. This is 100% against Bala and not you, because you killed your call. You destroyed it.
Thank you.
But that being said, let's talk about your call, right? Let's go. Let's get some love to Munif for buying another house. Munif never buys me houses. This is what I've known, right? Me and Munif go back like diapers and big crayons all the way back, but he's never bought me a house. So I just think that's important to know, right? Anyways, congratulations, brother. Seriously, you're killing the game. So Cassandra, talk a little bit about your experience, right? You signed up. My guess, the vibe that I get from you is very like, whatever. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. It's going to be good. It's going to be bad. All I can do is my best. That's it, right? That's kind of the vibe you come across. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I guess so. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you showed up, but then you did amazing. So my two questions are this. One, were you expecting to do that good in your call?
Yeah, honestly, like I think I was probably harder on myself than you guys were. Even though my boy Leo's phone wasn't working for like the first minute or whatever, it was just like, oh shit, I need to do this. I need to do that. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to practice. My team meets at 7 a.m. That's 3 a.m. for me because I'm in Alaska. So I make it sometimes I don't. I just know I saw your live the other day, Daniel, on Sub 2, and I was like, well, I gotta get me some of this, because after coming on the nightly dial, like my confidence has like 100% skyrocketed. Before, I just never had the chance to talk to a motivated seller, so it was just a lot of cold calling. So now that I've had that opportunity, it's like I can crush this, and I'm gonna crush this. And if I came on to a closer's tryout or a competition or whatever, and I'm just gonna do the best that I can do. And I'm happy it ended up where it was.
Well, I mean, and you did crush it, right? So that's really what it's all about. You came out here, you did exactly that. So I'm going to ask the same question to you that I asked to Peggy earlier, right? And I think I know what your answer is going to be, but it's going to be interesting to hear your perspective because we don't know what the future holds. There's 125 people that have signed up. 32 are going to make it through, right? Based on my experience, my guess is that there's a decent chance you all are on the list of the people who make it through. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's a safe bet that you and Peggy and the people that are in the 70s are making it through to the actual live competition. So my question to you is this: what are you going to do to get prepared for the next step? And how well you do in your first call, does that encourage you for the future or make you nervous for the future?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know, honestly, I haven't really even thought, does it make me more nervous that the bar is set high? I know that I'm going to practice more for sure, but I'm going to practice calling our leads and just closing deals as many as I can while we keep trying out. That's my plan. I just got rid of all my day shift jobs as of yesterday, so I'm not going to work so I can put in work.
You just out here full-time real estate. Okay, this is what we do?
Well, that's not entirely true. I'm still voluntarily managing a bar because nobody asked me if I would, but I have to. And, well, I don't have to, but I still, bills, whatever. But I switched all my shifts. So I got a lot more time to work on this every single day, and a lot less time behind pouring drinks.
Well, like at the end of the day, you're in the right place. You're on the right team. You are doing the right things. So there's no doubt that it's just really a matter of time and probably not that much time before you're doing this full time, building your portfolio and accomplishing whatever goals you have set in this thing. No question, Brandon's probably going to set aside some time for the whole team to come together and practice. I know I certainly am. And so we'll talk about that here for a second because we want to get to the Bash Bros as well. But let's actually talk to Tyler for a second. Tyler, bro. You are involved in this situation. You've been in the game for a little bit, right? You and your business partner, the other Bash Bro, are operating this business. You guys are doing an amazing job. You guys are great leaders in the community. And you guys not only are helping to be closers for the Nightly Dial, but you signed up to be a part of this thing. So what are your thoughts?
I felt like I had to. If you're a closer, I mean, and you don't sign up, it's like, what are you doing? So I've never competed. I wanted to actually do the last one and we missed it. But I think this one's going to be crazy. Seeing all the girls just murder it. Like it, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nervous, just a little bit. But it's actually really cool. I haven't talked to a lot of the girls in the community and just kind of seeing them navigate, seeing their sales skills, seeing how they, talk to other sellers. It's actually really cool. I love seeing people succeed. And so the fact that, Brandon and Bilal got half a sub 2 on their team is amazing. And
shout out to the Nightly Dial.
I got.
Who runs the Nightly Dial? Do you guys know?
What's that?
Who runs the Nightly Dial?
I mean, this guy with the
with the guy with the thing,
Busy Dre.
Anyways, so yeah, like Bilal and Brandon literally recruited 100% of sub 2 to work for them, which is why they are both like. Which one of you is Mr. Burns? I feel like Bilal is like 5 minutes away from sitting in the corner, just plotting his global domination. So Tyler, let me ask you this, man. Right, like when we Brandon and Bilal have one perspective because their team is competing, but you're competing against your business partner. Right. That's the energy a little different. You can come a little different with that. So what's on your mind, man? Like, what is the energy there? Are you guys like, let's just one of us get there? Or are you like, nah, bro, see me? Like, what's that dynamic like between you and Eddie?
It's more of like, let's both get there. I told him, I'm like, bro, we should be role playing. And this was last night after I saw all these girls. I'm like, damn, these girls are good. We better step our game up or something's gonna happen and it's not gonna be pretty. So right now, like I mean, everyone knows Eddie. Eddie is the king of networking. Like if you saw his phone after All In, he probably got 80 numbers. I'm not even
because
kidding.
he was topless for the whole thing.
Hey, whatever works. Whatever works.
Whatever works.
And so, you know, I think that our dynamic, we're pushing each other to make it. I mean, you know, we do have a less of an advantage being just us two, but you know, that's what I like. You know, I like kind of being the underdog. I like being someone who's looked over. And so, you know, Eddie, I mean, I know he's gonna kill it. I already know it. Like the dude he's great at talking to people. You know, he just quit his job. He hasn't had as many reps as me, but I already think he's better than me, to be honest. Like the dude, like if you saw him close car sales, it's like he's like almost the Pace Morby of car sales.
Wow.
It's insane. He's that good at car sales. And so you know, just us competing against each other and against everyone, I think it's going to be a lot of healthy competition, and I'm really excited to see what we're going to do.
No, that's awesome, man. So what do you think? What is it that you are approaching in this strategy? Are you just going to kind of come in, do your thing? Do you guys have a strategy or a plan, or is it just let's just kind of see how this plays out?
I think we're just going to come in and do our thing. You know, whenever we go, whether it's tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday, I don't know what day it's going to be, but
at this point, with this many people, who knows?
Probably next Friday. I mean,
just right.
We're not even through all the girls yet. So
exactly, and all the closers want to give like 15-minute critiques on every call because we talk too freaking much.
Terrible. Kick them all out.
all of us are bad.
But yeah, I mean, I'd say we don't really have a game plan. Just, you know, we're going to be practicing. We're going to be putting in the work, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, obviously, we're coming for the top 4 for sure, but there's a lot of people there, and you know, we'll see how it ends up.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm really looking forward to kind of seeing how everything goes. So let's transition over to another team member here, somebody that's on my team who has been slowly kind of, you know, sliding in the background, right? He's got his Drake vibes. He wears them like a badge of honor, as he should. The most delicate man in Sub 2. This guy is a whole vibe, and it's not even a question. Samir Drizzy Mortaza. So let's talk to us, bro. So, right, people know you as the guy that manages the back end stuff inside of the Nightly Dial, who's there making sure all of the leads get processed and all that, right? But they don't know that there's a closer behind all that facial hair, right?
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit from your perspective about why, you know, kind of where you're at. Like, what are your thoughts? What made you decide, you know what, everybody knows me as this. Let me go ahead and get on this stage and sign up for this thing.
You know, it's similar to what a lot of the other closers talk about. You know, it's just a feeling you have as a closer where you know when it's your time to step up, you got to step up. You got to take that shot. You can't just, you know, talk to everyone about what the right move is and to do the right thing. And then when your shot comes up, you don't take it. So, you know, as much as I do love doing a lot of the background stuff, it's all fun. I love Go Giving. I love working with the community and with the team. But, you know, it was a shot to show some of those skills. And I've had a great opportunity to learn from a lot of the people on this panel, obviously yourself included. And I thought, why not?
Amazing. So, and before everybody takes off, and we're going to wrap up here shortly, I want to get some predictions from everybody. So what, when you're talking about this whole entire thing, right? Like, so you're going in there. Obviously you are, you have your own experiences, right? You're learning and you're kind of a sleeper in a conversation, and that's fine. We'll let that be what that is. But then you see Agnes, another person on the team, right? What was your thoughts when Agnes went?
You know, it's crazy. I got a lot of love for Agnes, and, you know, obviously she's my team member. I believe in her big time, but she shocked me. There's no other way to put it. She came out firing like on a million, and she, like you mentioned, she loves to freak out about stuff. So, I hoped it wouldn't get the best of her, but the fact that she would just throw that by the wayside and just go out there and kill it, it's impressive, but it's a little nerve-wracking too, I'll be honest.
Yeah, a little bit. Does that make you want to kind of rethink the strategy? Because at the end of the day, so let me ask you this, right? Like, this is the closer thing. So you're on a team, right? Obviously, if I'm you, right? I love you, Agnes. I love you, Eric, but I'm gonna have to take this bag real quick, and I'm gonna have to go to the front of the classroom. That's, I'm assuming, the energy. Like, does it change it? Munif, thanks for coming through, man.
Appreciate it, bro. I mean, it's the same thing. I think Brandon's response was so perfect. Where if you were like, "Hey, how would you feel if you went against each other? Like, well, who would you want to win?" He was like, "The team wins." So I got love for Agnes, but I want the crown. Why would I not? So I'm trying to win, man.
I love it. So I'm going to ask you first. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to ask everybody else before we jump over to Dennis. Let's get some predictions, right? How do you think this is going to play out? We're going to have a top 4 people. How many people are ladies? How many of them are fellas? Do you have any names you want to throw out there? Who's making it to the top 4?
I mean, if I'm throwing names, I'm putting mine in there. I need to see me up there. But okay. I think the other ones are tough. I'm not going to lie. I think the ladies put the pressure on. I think the guys are honestly at a disadvantage going after. I think that pressure is going to be real heavy. So I'm going to say we see at least 2 ladies, maybe 3. But I feel like we're going lady heavy in the finals. And honestly, I think the bracket's going to be very, very lady heavy. And then, of course, the boys from the Nightly Doll, I know some of them are going to be up there as well. So that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing mostly ladies and a couple of the fellas maybe who make it pretty far.
Okay, perfect. Any other names other than your own that you want to toss in there?
I don't like to play favorites, but I'll just put it this way: there's definitely some fellas from the Nightly Doll I think are gonna come out here and kill it. You guys have seen them in a helpful role, but I think the competitiveness will bring something out from, and you guys will be surprised.
Let's go, Tia. I love it. So, for the people in the chat, I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. Who do you guys think is going to be in the top 4? Throw some names if you want to throw some names. If you don't want to throw some names, maybe just throw some combinations up there. But I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. Brandon, what do you think, man? Let's get some predictions out here, bro.
It's tough for me to say names when multiple people on my team.
Fair.
Yeah.
I would say. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy how the universe works. But I was gonna say a sleeper is Carlo. If that's Carlo Ian.
Carlo's a beast.
If Carlo is in it, he's a super sleeper. I don't know if people have heard him, but he's a beast.
He's nasty.
So I will put that in. I'll put him as a sleeper, and then I can see a few ladies for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brandon, let me ask you this, man, because you have a very, very interesting strategy, right? Your style is different than a lot of people's styles when you have a conversation, right? And so I've obviously in my head assessed where I think people are going. But what do you think? Have you thought about, what your strategy is going into this, strengths and weaknesses, and how you're going to manage your role in this competition?
Yeah, I've thought about it. Sorry, I have a lot of thoughts as you asked that, but I think just being strategic, just being a little more strategic with my time. And I think we've come up with a good strategy. We role played this morning. I saw where, and I stumbled this morning. I'm not gonna lie. On the 6 minute, it was I had really good ratings, but it didn't feel right. It wasn't me.
And that's the thing, right? So, and I don't want to give away too many nuggets, but you're a very slow, methodical talker. That is not good with a 6 minute timer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know you're thinking that's got to be in your head, racking around like, what am I gonna do here? Because it's unorganic to a point.
it's very unorganic. It doesn't feel comfortable. I'll be honest, it's not as comfortable for me because when I go into a conversation, I'm thinking about closing. It'll as fast as I can or as slow as I can. So me setting up a follow-up call, because I feel like that's the goal. It's not about closing. It's weird to me. It's not normal because if I'm talking about pricing, I'll pull up comps right there. We could go through everything right on the conversation. I'll run MAO, I'll underwrite, whatever we got to do. I could do it right there. So setting up another call is just it's like it's icky to me. So you know it is a thought, you know, that I've been having, but yeah,
Closers
just being
in
more
depth
strategic and trying to pull some points. I feel like the biggest thing was objections. I feel like that the lowest score was objections, because there weren't objections there. So then us thinking about how to, you know, let me not give the nuggets away, but you know, us just being more strategic on how to do certain things to maximize the points. I think we've come up with a good plan. I'm excited though. I am very excited. This is dope. As everyone knows, my aspiration is to go to the Closer Olympics. So doing this, you know, it's like I feel like I'm in the Dragon Ball Z World Tournament.
I love it. This
Right?
might be a tryout video right here.
This is my tryout video. You know, let's see. So
I love it. I love it a lot. So Cassandra, you talked to about your experience. Give us some predictions. What are you thinking?
I think you see the bottom 3 right here is actually like the top 3.
Ooh,
there's space for one more,
nice.
you know.
Okay, so that's what it is. You're going team heavy. It's gonna be y'all's team, and that's it. That's who's taking the cake.
You know, there's a lot of amazing people and closers. I think they're going to kill it, but we're going to make it real hard for you to get into that Final Four.
I love it. I love the energy. Peggy, give your thoughts, and no repeating what anybody else did. Be original.
Okay. I mean, I'm biased, so you know, I was attracted to Brandon and Bilal and Shad's team because, you know, listening to Brandon's smooth, you know, sales skills and, you know, how he's like calm and he just reels people in. And so, I mean, I think he's going to win. So being a little biased, but that's where my vote is.
Go. Now you went all the way to the end, to
And
the
of course,
very end. My guy getting the crown. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so Dennis, let's circle back to you, man. Like, you know, obviously you've been a part of this thing. You know, one thing, you were one of the first ones to just openly admit, as a closer, I'm a little shook. These ladies are coming with the heat, and I want to make sure I'm prepared for this. What are your thoughts? What are your strategies? How do you think it's going to all play out? What are your predictions?
I mean, obviously, there's going to be 2 women at the top. I know it's going to happen. There's no doubt about that. And I might be looking at them right now. I'm like probably 90% sure of that. So, as far as the guys go, it's hard. You know what it is? It's like I got to really look at who's competing. I know myself, I struggle. The reason why I'm doing this is because I talk a lot, right? That's my main struggle. You guys all know my phone calls. Peggy knows I go on phone calls for like 2 hours, literally with one person. So that 6 minutes is a struggle. And I'm working on that. And I think doing this competition is going to help me kind of chop that down a little bit when I need to, right? So, you know, I'm going to say I'll definitely be in the brackets. I know that. And I think I can make it to the final, as it just depends. Depends on what's going on that night. I mean, I'm like confident, but I'm not going to be cocky about it. You know?
Well, I'm gonna tell you all this. This is not, it's like I told everybody at the beginning, like, this is not what you think it is. The farther it gets, the less you are going to know what to expect, right? This is not, we ain't slided across the plate for nobody, right? Right now is good, right? And it's a lot, but it's easy because this is tryouts, right? Once we get to the actual fire, it's going to get crazy.
But I thrive on
Dennis is nice. Like, if people don't know Dennis is nice. Like, you know, this is a whole nother convo, but we had a business conversation the other day.
Oh, that was good.
Like a business convo, and it's like me versus Dennis. This is real life. It wasn't a pit. It wasn't
It was real.
It wasn't role play. It was a real business convo. And Dennis is a closer. I mean, Dennis is nice. I think he's just, and you see him, he's blowing up Instagram right now. He's putting himself more out there. As he does that, people are gonna know who he is, and people need to know who he is. But he's nice though. I would not be surprised if he goes to the Final Four. So I believe in you, Dennis, and that's genuine.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's going to be real tough. I mean, especially just because I look at the other people that we're, in competition with, and it's crazy. Like all the closers on the nightly dial, they're just insane. And that's going to be crazy. But going head to head against Brandon in an actual like real live negotiation, it was good. It was good. Shad was just sitting in the background like, oh man, well, I was like so happy he's not part of it. That was awesome. But yeah, no, I'm loving this. I really I've only been in sub 2 for like less than 5 months, or about 5 months now, and I freaking love everything about it. It's crazy. It's so good.
I love it. That's amazing, man. So question for you. We got a lot of hitters in here, right? And some of them, because they went yesterday, we're not even thinking about, right? Look, Ingrid Hernandez, Alandra, right? Ingrid came and killed it. Just wasn't even like, he was like, oh, but let me do this real quick and then go back to what I was doing, right? There's some hitters in there. Is there anybody, Dennis, that you're scared of? If you had to name one name, is there anybody? And you can say no if there's not somebody, but is there somebody you're like, that one person? That's, if I had to pick one, that's the one I'm scared of.
I could say I'm not scared of anyone because I feel like everybody has different styles. And it all depends on the person on the other side of the phone, right? So you could pretty much, we're all good. We're all going to be good, and we're all going to be amazing. It just really, it's the matchup. Whoever the matchup is, that's going to be the toughest part. So I can't say I'm scared of anybody because I feel like I could take on anybody. I mean, put me up, doesn't matter. I'll probably knock them out. It's good. I got this.
Let's go. I love it. All right. So as we wrap this up, Samir, final thoughts.
About the competition?
About everything. Competition, how you're feeling, teams, wins, losses, whatever's on your mind right now. Give us some final thoughts for what we're doing here.
Honestly, I feel great about everything. I love the team I'm on. I love working with everybody. DQ, you know how we get along. That's my G right there. If anyone doesn't know, I love working with everyone I work with. I love the trajectory of my business, the whole community. I've had the chance to talk to almost everyone at some point. So it's super dope as far as the competition goes. I got some nerves, but good kind of nerves. I'm excited. I'm having a lot of fun, and either way, I'm super happy to just be involved. Either way, I'm going to be, you'll see me around just helping run that thing with DQ. So I feel great, guys. Honestly, it's a dope community. I'm on a dope team. I love where everything is going. I feel good.
I love it. Dennis, final thoughts.
Can I rescind my previous conversation and say that I'm actually scared of Jonathan Newsom? He is like, dude, yeah. Just be ready when he comes into
Jonathan's
play.
a beast, and literally every shirt he owns says "guess" on it, or "boss."
Boss.
One of the two.
Boss.
It's boss. It's boss. So there you go.
No,
Because he's a boss.
This competition's insane. I just like where even if you don't actually get into a bracket or do anything, like the growth that you're going to get just from stepping up and putting yourself out there. We saw it tonight. We saw it live. It happened. And there's no way that she's going to be the same person that she was today, tomorrow. There's absolutely no way. She's going to be stepping herself up like 10x. Like it's going to be great. So, and that's what I love about this kind of stuff, because it really puts you out there and really it keys you in on your weak points so you can now grow on those, right? So I'm loving this. I love the growth that everybody's going to have. It's really just going to be incredible for everyone inside the community and all the people watching too. It's going to be freaking great. I love this shit.
I love it. It's going to be amazing. I cannot wait. Cassandra, hit us with some final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Well, my dog is trying to crush my whole screen right now. I am really excited about being in this competition, and just to kind of piggyback off of Dennis, hoping that anybody out there is watching that's nervous or whatever. This is what's going to make you not nervous. Do it with your family. Do it with these people who care about you. Just get there and do it. Like once you jump off, there's nowhere to go but wherever it is that you're going. So you might as well rip off that Band-Aid.
Love it. Peggy, final thoughts?
I just want to say that I love this community like tremendously. The relationships I've gotten just from being in this community and how supportive everyone is. Everybody roots for people. It's great. Like, it's not like people are trying to, climb on top of each other to see who's going to win. Like, everybody's really supportive and truly caring. So I love this community tremendously. And this competition's proof of it. Like, the camaraderie and how everybody's just like, yes, you did so great. And it's like, this is your competitor, but you're like, yeah.
Exactly.
It's real.
I love it. Brandon, what are you thinking, man?
Muted, bro.
Sorry. I'm thinking I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the opportunity. I always thank Daniel. Thank you for everything you do. Samir as well. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be part of this community. This is a life-changing community, and I'm happy to be on a stage with you guys right now. And I look forward to what we all do in this industry. So yeah.
Yeah. So in wrapping all of this stuff up, guys, I just want to throw a little bit of encouragement out to everybody who's here watching. We shut off the enrollment during the competition today during the tryouts. However, if there is somebody and you happen to be one of the people that are watching right now live, if you're watching live, right, and if you want to join and you're a part of Sub 2, but I got to be a part of Sub 2, and you haven't signed up yet, shoot me a message. If I get a message from you guys within the next 15, 20 minutes, maybe within the next hour, I will manually put you into the sheet. So there will be a little final slot for anybody who's here. If you watch this thing live and took the time to hear everybody out, and you've been a little bit on the fence, or you did, for whatever strange reason, happen to not hear about it, and you're interested, shoot me a message. I will get you to the login. Get you on the list so that you guys can compete and try out for this competition. But that being said, guys, it's about the community, and I said this every day. I'm going to continue to say it. Like, Pace goes out of his way to put a lot of people on the map, give a lot of people opportunities. And for me, one of the things that I love about this is our opportunity to return the favor, to show him that all of us here are willing to go to work, put our names on the line, put our reputations on the line to try to be our best self so that we can, after this, if we make it, represent Pace and Sub 2 to the rest of the real estate world. Guys, a lot of big things are coming in this industry, a lot of changes, a lot of growth. And I can promise you, without a shadow of a doubt, there is no question in my mind that Sub 2 is going to be leading these changes and leading the charge for the impact that's going to be taking place in real estate over the next 12 to 24 months. It's not even a question. The level and the quality of the leaders that exist in this place are insane. So if for whatever strange reason you are not, and you have any interest in getting into real estate, get in and get connected with this community, get connected with the people in this community, because the people that are on this screen and the people that are a part of this Sub 2 family are always willing to go above and beyond to help each other win. And at its core, this is a competition, but this is a competition to push each other, to help each other win. And that's what it's all about. So I want to say a big shout out and thank you. Let me say this to my team, right? To Samir, to Peyton, to Lucy, to Carlin, to James, to Agnes, and to everybody else who helps what I do every day be possible, right? I am going on, as of right now, I'm going to be hitting 10 hours on Zoom today, right? 10 hours. And that wasn't where my day started, right? And Samir has been there for almost every single one of those things, right? This is what our days look like, but this is what it costs. This is what if you want to do something big, you got to be willing to do all of the work that goes with that. And I could not do that without my team. So number love and respect and appreciation to all of you guys, and then to everybody else, because even if they're not on my direct team, they're a part of my extended family. Peggy, Cassandra, Dennis, Brandon, Bilal, everybody else that you've seen, and many, many more people that were not here tonight. Could not do this without you, because this community is what's making this thing possible. The amount of people, the deals that we do, it couldn't happen without this community. So amazing things are on the horizon. Amazing things are to come, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm glad that every single one of you are a part of it, and I cannot wait for what's going to happen. So that being said, as we wrap up, tomorrow, 3 p.m., if you are in Sub 2, 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we're back into the tryouts again. We're going to go through these tryouts until this list is filled out. All of the bracket is going to be starting next week. We're going to be getting into this thing. It's going to be amazing. And what I'm thinking about doing, what do you guys think? I think we should do a couple of more of these things. Maybe we won't do it on Jonah's podcast, but I think we should do more of these lives, talk about it, do some recaps, get some people, some just kind of Sports Center-esque responses to this. How do you guys feel about doing that?
Yeah, it'd be like remember that show they'll have the post show to Game of Thrones and Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Let's do that. We got to do the post show talk and just kind of get into it. Maybe talk. Have a little tea, right? We have a little tea tonight. We have a little tea. Who's doing what? Who's going to win, right? Talk about how everybody's doing. Get some challenges. I think we're going to make this a thing. I'll work on coordinating all of that. But that being said, finally, before we wrap up, I want to say a big shout out to Jonah and his followers, the people that are watching this podcast. Jonah, I'm honored to be working with you on your podcast, man. You do amazing things. You've had amazing guests. You have an amazing message. So I appreciate you trusting me with the opportunity to come out here and speak on your podcast. Thank you for having every single one of us, even though you weren't here to do it. I hope your trip is safe. I hope you feel a lot better because I know he got a little under the weather on his trip. And I hope we did you proud on this podcast for you and the community that you have following this. All of the Skorch the Fierce people, thank you so much for watching us and hearing us out. If you are not a subscriber to Jonah's page, please hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications so you can see all of the podcasts that go on here, because we will continue to do podcasts. I'll continue to be here whenever I can. He does a lot of dope stuff with or without me. And then, of course, we may be coming back here and doing some more things with this competition as well. That being said, we're wrapping it up. Love you guys. Have an amazing night. Have an amazing rest of the week. See you guys tomorrow. Keep watching, and let's take over the world. Have a good one, guys.